Hello and welcome to the third video in my tutorial series of how to build a portfolio website. This video is about setting up your site in Dreamweaver. So it is assumed that people will be able to use Dreamweaver and also that you have all of the resources downloaded onto your computer. If not, you'll find the links on the tutorial website. So first of all, the most important thing we need to do is to define a site in Dreamweaver. So I've already I have a pre-prepared website, as you can see, and this is basically how I would set up the folder structure of the website. So all of the HTML files out in the main or root directory, and an images folder and a CSS folder. Inside the images folder I have split each page or each subject into their own folder with their own images inside that folder. So open up Dreamweaver and click on Site and then New Site. We'll call this portfolio website. This name in here will only display within Dreamweaver, so this is just an indicator of what site you're working on within Dreamweaver. Local site folder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new folder on the desktop. So if you just click on the desktop and just click on New Folder, this folder I'm going to call Portfolio Site. Then I'm going to open this folder and I'm going to create another folder called www. Now the reason I do this is because if you have any assets that you're working on, I prefer to keep them outside of the final site. So whatever goes into the www folder is what gets put onto the internet. And everything else, all your working files, should sit outside of that folder. Okay, so I'm going to click on that and I'm going to hit select. So I'm selecting the www folder inside my site folder. Another thing you should do is open up the advanced settings here and click on local info, and we need to define the default images folder. So I'm going to click on the folder icon here, and as we don't have an images folder yet, I'm going to simply create one now. So I'm just going to call it images and then open it and select it. That's all we need to do for now, so I'm just going to click save. So as you can see in your files panel on the bottom right hand corner, it will be pointed to the folder that we have just made. So another folder that we need is the CSS folder. So I'm going to right click on the top on the root folder here, and I'm going to go to new folder and I'm going to put the CSS. So we need to start building the site. So we've created the folders, and now we need to actually start building the site. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new HTML file. Okay, so this software is set to create a XHTML file, XHTML1 transitional version of HTML, as you can see in the doc type declaration in the top of this code. So what I need to do, I want to change this to XHTML 1.1. There's not a huge difference, but it's better to have the slightly newer version. So I'm going to go to File, depending on which computer you've got. Actually, no, it's in Edit and then Preferences. So on a Mac, it will be in the Dreamweaver menu. So I think you click on Dreamweaver in the main menu and then go to Preferences. So I'm going to go to where it's got file types. New document. So click on new document, and default document type, it's got XHTML1 transitional, but I'm going to change it to XHTML 1.1 and then click OK. So I can close that new file that we created before, and I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to click File, New, and HTML doc type is version 1.1. Hit Create. Now I'm going to save this now. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to call this file Layout. The reason I'm calling it Layout is because I like to have one file that I start building from scratch, and then from that file I will save as and continue to populate the rest of the site. But essentially I'll have one file as a sort of template file that I'll produce all of my other files from. So I'll get this file right first, and then I'll continue to build the rest from there. Hence why I call it Layout. I'm also going to create a CSS file, so I'm going to go File, New, and from the list I'm going to click on CSS, and then I'll hit Create. Now I'm going to save this, so I'm going to go File, Save As, and open my CSS file, and then I'll call this CSS file, very simply just call it Style, and then hit Save. Okay, so I've got two files, Layout HTML and Style.css. Now what I need to do now is I need to join or attach the CSS file to the HTML file. To do that, I go to Format, CSS Styles, Attach Style Sheet. Then in the pop-up window I'll click on Browse, open up the CSS folder, find my style file and click on it and click OK. And it should have the right file and directory in there, so I'll click OK. And what that does is it inserts a piece of code that links the style sheet to this document. So as I said before, in this layout document, this will be the template. So everything I do is building a template file so that I can essentially just copy and paste files when this sort of template file is ready. Now another important thing we need to do is give this page or this document a title. This is very important, as if you don't give a title to a document, if you upload this to the net and it's just got untitled, that's also not only very messy in terms of coding, but also search engines will not be able to look up your website effectively. So the title of your website is very, very important. So I'm going to call this site Portfolio Website. Okay, so that's basically it for this tutorial, and we'll continue on with setting up your files, and we'll look at starting the CSS template.